Okay, everyone, in CJA 690, this is your fearless leader slash instructor, Dr. Guffey. Um, this is your introductory video to the course. So let me get started. It won't take long to do this video, not more than like maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Um, so, first of all, in week one, um, what you're doing in week one, let me make it, you know, as clear as I can. You're going to be reading some documents that I've uploaded to week one. Make sure. So basically, all I'm asking you to do in week one is to go in and read all the documents. One in particular that's, of course, very important is the guidelines. Um, in other words, these are the instructions basically on how to format and write your 5 chapters in your capstone project. Um, So read all those documents. You'll see 2 other videos in week one. One of those videos is me again, telling you about week one in particular and week two. And then the second one is our librarian, our dedicated librarian for the CJA 690. I'm sorry, for basically for the criminal justice program. Um, his name is David Fear, and he has developed a video for you to so you can get into the library very easily to do your research. Now, that brings up a good point with regard to library and research. Obviously, you're going to be doing researching, throughout your 5 chapters. Um, I expect you to do that in the National University Library. And there are filters, as you will see when David walks you through everything. There are filters to filter for peer-reviewed articles or journals. That's the one you want to, if no other one, you want to click on that button so that you're only getting peer-reviewed articles. Now, am I requiring you to do all of your research in the NU library? No. Um, in fact, I would say Google Scholar is another good source to use to do your research. But I think between those two, between the NU library and the Google Scholar, uh, it's more than sufficient to get the articles you need to write your chapters. So, so listen to those 2 presentations, okay? Um, so let me back up just a minute to make sure you understand, what how long the course is, some of the basics, I guess. First of all, contacting me. Um, as I said in 655, the best way to get me is through email. Now, it doesn't mean you can't call me. The best number to call if you're going to call would be my home number, which is on the syllabus that I sent out to you already. 209 952 1307. As you probably know, this is an 8-week class, okay? Um, but it can become, well, let me back. It's really a 9-week course. There's a 0 week, what I call a 0 week, right after the 4th week, and that is the summer recess. And it's a week long. It's a little over a week long. It includes the 4th of July weekend. So that 5th week doesn't really start until July 5th, which is a Tuesday, I believe. Um, so and I can extend the course a little bit at the end as well to make it almost 10 weeks long. So, but I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't need all of that time to complete the 5 chapter thesis. And I will tell you, I've taught this course, oh boy, probably 50 or 60 times at least. And almost always I'll have 1 or 2, maybe as many as 3 students that don't finish in all of that time. You don't want to do that. You want to stay up. Now, that said, let me go over to, and I already discussed week one. Um, when you see your syllabus, when you've got it already, you're going to see some suggested deadline dates. Okay. I call them suggested deadline dates because if you want to go faster in this course than 8 weeks, you can do that. I've had students finish this course in 6 weeks. It all comes down to your motivation to get the chapters done, get them to me, particularly on the dates that I've indicated in the syllabus. Okay, if you get behind those dates, you're in a little bit of trouble. Okay, and what I recommend is if by the end of the fourth week you're behind, that you use that the summer recess week to do some catching up. Let me grab some water here. I was drying out. So, so in week one, all you're doing is, like I said before, is reading those documents and looking at the, looking at these videos, absorbing them. And you will see on the syllabus that I don't really tell you to start working on chapter 1 and 2 until the second week. But that doesn't mean you can't go ahead and get started. All of the documents, I have sample chapter 1 and chapter 2 documents in week 1 to show you, the how to of writing chapters 1 and 2. Why not? If you only know your schedule, I don't know it. Maybe you have plans for the first week. And by the way, the first day of the class is Memorial Day weekend or Memorial Day itself. So, if you probably want to do some things with your family, it's fine. You don't want to do any work on Monday, that's fine too. You take the 3-day weekend and relax, and forget about 655, for example, and think about getting ready to go into the thesis. So anyway, week 2. So in week 2, yeah, you need to be well underway writing chapters 1 and 2, based on the video that I upload in week 1. So the way you get started, once again, let me reiterate that the way you get started is you view the video, the week 1 video that's going to be in the course when you get there on the 30th. And then look at those samples that I put in there. Samples, really good student chapters 1 and 2. So you will see a sample of what a good chapter 1 and 2 looks like. Okay. So then we move on to to week 3. And in week 3, you're already going to be sending in your drafts. Okay. The drafts are due Sunday, 1 and 2 drafts now. Okay. Chapters 1 and 2 drafts are due by Sunday, June 19th at 6 p.m. Okay. So that gives you 3 weeks to get those into me. In week 4, I'm going to be returning all of those week 1 and 2 chapter drafts to you by Wednesday, okay, of the third week, which is June 22nd. So I'm going to be a busy guy from Sunday till Wednesday, grading and looking at reading and grading your chapters 1 and 2 and getting them back to you. So you will get your drafts back with markup from me. Okay, it's called track changes. I hope all of you are familiar with track changes, Microsoft track changes. If you're not, I think I have a sample in week 1 of a typical what a typical markup looks like. But if you're really unfamiliar with track changes, you need to get familiar with it on your own. There's tutorials, of course. You just got to go into YouTube and look at a couple of tutorials, and you'll be up to snuff. Because I'm here to tell you that knowing what to do with track changes will save you a lot of time. Because many of the edits that I put into your chapters will be ones that it can just be easily solved. You just click. Okay, You just click and it will make the change for you. Now, is it that easy for all of the comments and edits I make? No. In some cases, you're going to have to rewrite a part of your chapter. No, I don't mean that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about. I've never sent a chapter back to someone and said rewrite the whole chapter. But you might have something. You're going to have some grammatical errors. You're going to have some. I'll tell you to make a new paragraph here. Things like that that will require you to go in and actually make a manual change. Okay, so that's week 3, and by Sunday, no, I'm sorry, we're into week 4. I said by Saturday, June 25th. That's the end of week 4. You should be sending me the chapter 1 and 2 finals. In other words, you're going to correct the markups. Okay, get them correct. Then resubmit those chapters as finals. And then if I approve the finals, you're done with chapters 1 and 2. So now we're at the end of week 4. All right. Now the summer recess comes on, I believe it's, it must be Monday, June 26th. And it goes an entire week and like I said, into the 4th of July weekend, July 4th. Okay. So now in week 5, we're back to work, July 5th. Okay. There's another Kaltura video in week 5 that will tell you basically how to go about writing chapters 3 and 4. All right, and chapters 3 and 4. So chapters 3 and 4, and there are samples again, student samples in week 5. To show you some really good samples of students who've submitted chapters 3 and 4 in the past. So the drafts are due by Sunday, July 10th. Okay, that's in week 5. Okay, so week 5 is July 5th through the 10th. I'm expecting you to have the week 3 and 4 drafts to me by Sunday, July 10th at 6 p.m. Then I'm a busy guy again. I'm reading all these chapters 3 and 4. I'm making the edits and the comments and all that. And I'm getting those back to you in week 6. I'll return the drafts to you by Wednesday, July 13th at 6 p.m. Then you need to go to work and correct all these, make all the corrections. Then submit chapters 3 and 4 as your finals by July 17th, Sunday, July 17th at 6 p.m. Okay, so now if I approve your finals and send them back to you and say everything's good to go, okay, you're now 4/5 of the way through, doing your project. So in week 7, you will be writing chapter 5 draft. Okay, there's another video to kind of walk you through chapter 5. There are student samples, and you need to have the draft chapter 5 to me by Wednesday, June 20th at 6 p.m. Okay, and obviously the day, I'm requiring you to get the chapter 5 in a little quicker because you're only doing 1 chapter, not 2. So it's due by Wednesday, June 20th, and I will return. I will return. Hold on, let me back up. Chapter 5 draft. Prepare and upload your PowerPoint. No, that's the PowerPoint. Hold on. Chapter 5 draft due by Wednesday. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was right. Chapter 5 draft due by Wednesday, July 20th at 6. Chapter 5 final returned to you on Sunday, July 24th. Okay. And then you're pretty much done. You've done your 5 chapters. But in weeks 7 and 8, okay, the final 2 weeks of the course, you are preparing your PowerPoint. Okay. So what you're going to do And there's a sample PowerPoint again in there. There's the format for it in chapter. I think it's in not chapter in week 7. Um, but I have a student sample again of a really good PowerPoint presentation that a student did. Um, and you're not going to be, it's not going to be done in Zoom. Okay, well, I didn't say. I should have said early on. There are once again, like 655. There's no required seminars in this course. Okay, it's you work on your own. Um, but if you want to, like I said before, if you really need to have me face to face with you, we can arrange a date and time in Zoom where we can meet and talk about whatever it is that you are having trouble with. But for the presentation, the PowerPoint presentation, there are basically 2 ways to do this. Okay, in PowerPoint, you will see a selection called record. Okay, it's very simple. You just click on, once you've got your PowerPoint done, you click on record and you choose either audio or video. If you don't want me to see you on the screen, then choose audio. If you don't care and you want to show me the gestures sort of you make and the pauses and whatnot, I really prefer that, to be honest with you. But again, I understand when students don't want to be seen on a video. That's okay with me too. But you need to do one of the 2 and then upload it into the assignment, and that's where I will grade it. Okay, now backing up just a little bit again, how are you graded in this class? Well, it's a little different. Okay, only your drafts are graded. So you need to put all your effort into getting your drafts as correct as possible. Okay, before you submit them, because that's when I'm going to give you a score for that particular assignment. So there's 7 graded assignments in 690. There are the 5 chapters. Okay, your references is graded. Okay, and finally your PowerPoint presentation is graded. And all 7 of those are worth 3 points apiece. So 3 points times 7, the total number of points that you can get in this class is 21. Okay, there's no extra credit. Okay, this is not a class that's that's built for extra credit. And the grades you get are a little different too. It's not A, B, C, D, F. Okay, there's basically just 3. Well, there's 4 grades. The first grade is the best grade you can get, which is honors. That's an H. So don't be surprised at the end of the course if you've got an H or an S. That's a grade. The reason let me kind of explain why we have the grades H, S, and U. So there's the 3 grades: honors, satisfactory, unsatisfactory, and the last possible grade is what I call in progress. Okay, you don't want this grade. All right, it might sound like it's push the easy button, but it's not. Okay, what the IP grade is, if you get 3 completed chapters, they're all satisfactorily completed, and I've graded them and given you satisfactory grade them all, and you can't complete the course, you will get an I grade or IP grade, in progress. This gives you 6 more months, okay, after the course to finish the capstone project. It seems like a really nice gift. It probably is, but I will tell you frankly, probably less than 40%, more like about 35% of my students actually complete the course, even after being given the I grade. And my theory is this: that if you procrastinated during the course, when you get the I grade, you're going to procrastinate again, and then it catches up to you. And if you get the IP grade and don't finish in 6 months, it lapses to an F. Okay, automatically to an F. Or unsatisfactory. I'm sorry, U, to a U. So a real quick explanation of these grades. So honors would be the equivalent of an A and A or B plus. Look at it that way. And you need to get at least 18 points, okay, to get an honors grade, 18 to 21. Satisfactory, that's passing grade, and it's B, B minus, C plus, C, C minus, all of those thrown together. Okay. Um, and how many points do you need to get a satisfactory? 8 to 17. Well, that's a gift, isn't it? And then finally, D plus, D, D minus, F is the equivalent of an unsatisfactory, or 0 to 7 points. So if you get less than seven or less or fewer points, you're going to get the unsatisfactory grade. And if you let the IP grade lapse after 6 months, you're going to get the unsatisfactory grade again. And of course, you know what that means. You means you have to take the course over again in order to fulfill the requirements for graduation. I think that's about it. I've probably gone longer than I wanted to. I will say I expect all of you to be ethical in your writing. Don't plagiarize. If you have a direct quote, you need to use the direct quote format. And I won't say any more about that because you're all, adult students who gotten successfully through life without cheating. So I don't think you need to do it here. Um, so so I think I'm at 21 minutes, and I didn't intend to go that long, but I'm going to stop here and look forward to seeing you in the class starting on 30 May, but really more like on 31 May. Okay. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. It's the weekend here, at least, and I'm going to end.